Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be challenging myself to make a rat just like this out of plastic grocery bags. Now you may be wondering, how is such a thing possible? How could I crochet a rat out of grocery bags? Well, you have to turn the grocery bags into yarn. I've already made quite a big yarn ball of these grocery bags, and I'm keeping on the theme Kroger grocery bag so that it's going to be a brown rat. And I think I'm going to make the tail and the feet and the ears out of these white grocery bags that I have. It's going to have a brown grocery bag body, and it's going to have white grocery bag feet, and it's going to be stuffed with all of the little scrap pieces I had left over while I was making the grocery bag yarn. So this grocery bag yarn is actually a pretty common method to making reusable grocery bags. It's called plarn, which is a combination of plastic and yarn. And you can make plarn out of a bunch of different types of plastic, but many people will use grocery bags. But today I'm going to see if I can make an amigurumi with it, because I have never seen anyone make amigurumi with plarn. So I'm very excited to try this out today. But before I get started, here's a quick word from today's sponsor, me, Niche Crochet. You're watching this video, and you thought that this was just a regular old rat, but it's got a secret. Hold the rat up to the purple light, or any light, I guess. If you don't have a purple light, like, that's fine. You can, wait, is that a bug? Is that a bug? And then what you're going to want to do is come to the bathroom without turning the lights on, and then rat reveal. Whoa! This rat is radioactive, and soon you too. Now, you may be yelling at your screen right now, I don't want that. I don't want that rat. And that's okay, I guess, but you could have been nicer. Let me show you some of my other things. I have this rainbow flower possum, this yellow flower possum, and it has baby bees on the back. And I also have a purple one, and I have a pink one, but I forgot to bring it over here. And guys, you've heard of tinsel rat, and you've probably thought to yourself, I want that. And that's perfect, because now I have marketable tinsel rat. And yeah, I guess he doesn't look exactly the same, but what? Do you expect me to work with the tinsel from that one video every single time? No, I'm not doing this ever again. And but I'll make this. I'll make this again. If you want this rat, then you can. I'll also be selling Mr. Shredded Cheese. So if you want any of these guys, February 28th is my next restock. So head on over to nichecrochet.com and click on the item that you want when restock happens, and then sign up for the wait list so that you'll be notified by email when your thing is back in stock. But then February 29th comes and you're like, oh no, I missed restock. Don't worry. You can go to the request a commission tab on my website and order whatever you want. Save the date, February 28th, nichecrochet.com. Now, where were we? So I have a bunch of hooks here. I don't know exactly what size hook will be appropriate for this. I'm hoping that I don't need a bigger hook. I think I'm going to start with the 6mm since it's the biggest one I have right here. So I'm going to make a slip knot with this yarn. Alright. Now I'm going to chain 2. And single crochet 6 in the first chain. Alright, so this is what I got so far. This is looking pretty good, pretty easy. I am worried that this hole is going to be a little too big. Yeah, if I try to tighten it, I end up pulling on the plastic and it's going to break. And yeah, it looks like I'm about to break this piece. So I'm going to take this piece off and start with the piece before it. It's tangled. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start over. Luckily, I wasn't too far into the project. But I'm going to find a way to make that hole a lot smaller. Okay, so I'm already running into a little bit of a challenge. So this yarn is just a bunch of strands of the plastic bag that are kind of tied together. So there's knots in the yarn, and that will make it a little bit difficult to make some of the stitches as I run into the knots in the yarn. Okay, I tried to make the hole smaller, and it's still quite large. I think what I'm going to do is, when I embroider the nose on, just try to cover it up as much as I can, because at this point I don't know what I could do to make the holes smaller other than make a magic ring. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to make a magic ring. I've been crocheting for 8 years and I don't know how to make a magic ring, and I am already too comfortable with the chain 2 method. I don't want to start. So I'm not very far into this rat, but I think I already know what I want to name it. I think at the end of the video, when I reveal all of the other rats, I'm going to do the name reveal before you guys can even name him, because it's just the perfect name. Alright, 2 rounds completed, and this is what it looks like. Honestly, it's turning out smaller than I thought it would be, which is not a bad thing. I was just expecting it to be like kind of like, I was expecting round 2 to be more like this, but it's more like this. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing in my opinion. I didn't want it to be huge. So one bad thing about this plarn is that while you're crocheting with it, it can stretch, but the downside to the stretch is that it doesn't snap back to how it originally was. When you stretch it, it's permanently stretched out and becomes weaker. Like when you poke a hole in the bag with your thumb, it starts to stretch before the hole. It's kind of stretching like that a little bit, and I'm trying my best not to break it. Ugh. Running into the knots from making the plarn is like running into a factory knot multiple times in a round. It's kind of getting annoying. Alright, so this is the face so far. So this progress is around right here where the eyes are. Alright, I've got to a point in the rat where the head and the neck is done. So in this rat, it's a little bit above where these ears are. So this is usually the point where I begin to stuff. And I'm not going to stuff it with traditional polyester fiberfill stuffing. I'm going to stuff it with the leftover scrap pieces of plastic bag that I made when I was making the plarn. I'm going to see how well this stuffs it to begin with. Actually, it's kind of stuffing it really well. Like, very well. I really like the way that this is just really easily compacting itself into the snout. Yeah, very hard snout. I think that the density of the plastic bag pieces getting stuffed inside it will make it harder to do the embroidery. The needle will not be able to push through the thick layer of plastic as well, so I think I'll be able to do it. It just won't be as smooth and buttery as working with yarn and polyester fill. Now, call me crazy, but I'm finding myself to be enjoying working with this yarn. Yes, it is very strenuous on my hand, especially the hand that is holding the hook, which is odd specifically for me because usually when I am crocheting with a yarn that is a little bit difficult to work with or doesn't have as much give, my left hand, the hand that's not holding the hook, is the one that bears the most strain. But with this yarn, my right hand, my hook holding hand, is getting sore a lot more quickly. It's just an observation. But overall, I am enjoying working with this yarn. It's a very unique and fun experience. And I think that this ball of plarn that I made will be enough to finish the body, but I still will need to make the different color plarn for the feet. Yeah, I'm glad I made enough. This is not taking nearly as much plastic as I thought it would. Okay, now I'm at a point where I have most of the body done, and I'm going to start stuffing soon, as well as decreasing. Alright, now I'm going to start stuffing. Oh yeah, I love having these plastic pieces fall everywhere. Like, okay, so I used up all of the little scrap stuffing pieces that I had. So now I'm going to close it up. And I am worried about being able to sew it shut. I'm worried about being able to sew at all with this because it doesn't want to rub on itself. So there's a lot of friction there, and I think that's going to make the sewing process with this a lot harder. Where'd my stitch marker go? Oh, I found it. Just made the very last stitch. Now it's time to cut. Now time to sew the body shut. This is going to be fun. It threads on the needle pretty well. Okay, so far so good. Okay, weaving into the body is a little bit of a challenge because, like I said, the needle can't really go through plastic pieces the same way that it can go through polyfill. But I was able to do it. Alright, so here we have the finished body of the plastic bag rat. Now I have to make the pieces for the tail, feet, and the ears. So I'm going to get started on that. I made a little bit of this white plarn. I wanted to, before I went any further, start to make the ears and see how those sew on. Because if it doesn't end up working out, if I can't make them properly or sew them on properly, then I'm going to want to use regular yarn for that. So I don't want to make too much of this plarn before realizing I can't really use it for what I want it for. But hopefully this works. I think this will work, but I just want to make the ears real quick and see how well it works. So here's a finished ear, and I'm going to try to sew it on. Ooh, I almost broke the yarn. Okay, so, oh man, I broke it. Darn. Okay. So I'm gonna undo it. I'm gonna take it off of the head. And then I'm gonna see if I can sew it on with regular yarn. I got my boots. I got my hat. I'm bringing Contra back. Alright. Round 2 with real yarn this time. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. Don't get too close. It's dark inside. That's where my demons hide. That's where my demons hide. Okay, so it kind of looks a little messy, but it is working. Okay, so here's one of the ears. It looks kind of bad. Because I wasn't able to sew it on properly, and parts of the plastic are, like, sticking out the bottom here, but I mean, overall it did work. It's just not the result I was hoping for. But I'm going to do this again, and then I'm going to make the feet and the tail, and then I'm going to see how all that can sew on. Okay, so I was able to sew the second ear on infinitely better than the first ear. I'm getting better at sewing with it with time. So hopefully the legs and the tail won't look so, won't look like this. Now I'm starting to make the feet, and the feet are pretty complicated because they have individual toes, and I'm worried that that will be kind of difficult to do with this type of yarn. So we're gonna see how that goes. Again, the knots in the plarn are making this more difficult than it needs to be. So here's the first round of the foot. So far, so good. Alright, now I'm going to color change to the body color for the leg. Here's the first leg. Here's what the front leg of a regular rat looks like for comparison. It's a little misshapen, but overall not too bad. I made all of the feet as well as the tail. And there's something odd about one of these feet. I don't know if you noticed, but this toe is abnormally, like, obnoxiously long. And I didn't make an extra stitch. So I don't know why this happened, but it's funny, it's great. Now I'm gonna sew on the front legs, and I have some brown yarn to attach to the legs so that I can actually sew them on, because yeah, sewing with this yarn, impossible. You tug even just a little bit and it just like that. So I can't sew with plarn, but I can still sew the pieces on with yarn, so that's what I'm gonna do. So first I want to attach the yarn to the piece with a hook, and then give it a long tail for sewing. Alright. Now it's time to sew this on. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the nose white, but use yarn, my white yarn, to make it white. And then I'm going to make the eyes black. I think it would just make sense to make the nose white because everything else that is supposed to be pink is white, so it's just on theme. So I'm going to sew on these back legs, and then I'm going to work on that. You're here just in time. I'm making the parts of the video where I speed up my process, and then it looks like I'm crocheting really fast.
Oh, okay.
You want to be a part of my video?
Sure.
Look at this rat. Yeah, hold it.
Whoa.
It's almost done. I just gotta make the face now.
How difficult was this?
It's pretty easy. Like, the sewing, I had to sew it on with regular yarn. Yeah. But the crocheting process was, like, shockingly easy. Like, I've worked with this type of yarn before, but I didn't think amigurumi was gonna be easy, but it is.
Yeah. How many bags did you use?
Probably around 20-ish overall. Look at this big toe it has.
I love that.
I think this toe happened because there was a knot in the yarn in this spot, because I didn't accidentally like make an extra stitch. This just kind of happened.
That's so funny.
All right, so now I have the entire rat sewn together, and now I just need to make the face. How we feeling about this nose? Oh my god, he's crooked. He's so crooked. Wow. I don't know how that happened. I've sewn a million of these together before. This guy's not. Well, I guess they're slightly crooked. But this guy's severely crooked. Meow, 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 meow. I need to get that meow, meow, meow song out of my head. It's been stuck in my head for months now because of freaking Instagram Reels. You know those AI cat videos that have been on Instagram Reels. And now YouTube, I guess? I've seen a few YouTube videos talking about how these AI cat videos are the new Elsa-gate of YouTube. That's crazy! I think if I were a kid watching those videos, I'd probably be interested in it. Yeah, if I were like 8 years old. Yeah, I'd probably watch it. I forgot to count how many stitches I've been putting in this rat's eyeball. So I guess I'm gonna eyeball it. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. And every time I sing this song, I imagine like one of those AI cats, and the cat is on a boat, and all of a sudden the boat explodes, and now the cat is drowning. So now the cat's dad, who is super buff, has to go and save the little kitten. And then, I don't know, and their appearances are not uniform throughout each frame because it's AI generated. Or I've seen the one where it's an old lady and like the building is burning down and there's a cat. I don't know. I don't remember. That one got pretty popular though. I've seen that everywhere. Meow, 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 meow. And it's just associated with that song. And that song has plagued my mind for the past several months. And usually I don't get a TikTok song stuck in my head for months. But that meow, meow, meow song, what is it? It's from like a Billie Eilish song or whatever. It's not been able to escape my mind. It's haunting me. It's haunting me. I'm haunted by this song. Sorry. That was a weird rant to suddenly go on, but it's been bothering me. Oh yeah. This is one of the rats of all time, for sure. Oh yeah. Okay. It's so crooked. Oh my god. It's beautiful. More beautiful rats have never been made. Wow. Gorgeous. And oh my god, it fell. Here's this rat compared to a regular sized radioactive rat. So he's pretty big. He's like twice the size-ish. Overall, this is actually a pretty solid yarn to work with. I don't recommend actually making serious amigurumi with it unless you're silly like me. But if you want to make, you know, a reusable grocery shopping bag, this is perfect. This is actually, like, amazing for that. But if you want to make something where there's a lot of details, especially, like, sewing details, then I don't recommend this, because as soon as you try to sew with this, it so easily breaks apart. Effortlessly comes apart. And so that's a major problem when it comes to sewing, because when you're sewing with yarn, you have to, like, really pull tight to close something, and you can't really pull this tight. So I don't recommend making amigurumi with this, but overall, the stitches are very well defined, so definitely easy in that way, and the yarn was very easy to work with. I've mentioned before that other yarns that I've used in the past had a mind of its own, like the tinsel that I used in my previous Will It Rat video had a mind of its own, but this does not have a mind of its own. This yarn was very obedient. Whatever I told it to do, it would just do it, unless you were asking it to, unless you were tugging on it, then it kind of snaps. Overall, good yarn. I don't recommend it for amigurumi, but if you want to make other, like, eco-friendly projects with it, definitely give this yarn a chance. Alright, other rats that I've made for this series. The first one, Mr. Shredded Cheese the Rat. Mr. Shredded Cheese will be available on my website on February 28th, so if you would like to purchase a Mr. Shredded Cheese, go to my website on February 28th, don't miss it. Next we got Strawberries When You Leave It in the Fridge for a Month. This was made out of pipe cleaners, and I very quickly gave up on this one. I got to about this far with the pipe cleaners before giving up, being like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. But I still consider it a rat. And then thirdly, we have the Mark Twine rat. He was made out of a gifting twine. I'm not really sure what the gifting twine is used for, but this is what he's made of. It was a pretty easy yarn to work with. It was a chill video. And fifthly, we have Tinsel Rat. Tinsel Rat. I love beating this guy. His name, I've decided, is Tinsel Rattington. Because many commenters were like, you should name him Tinsel Washington. And that's funny, but I want to be able to call it Tinsel Rat, because the name Tinsel Rat, because of how many times I said it in the previous video, I want to be able to say it every time I refer to this rat. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be selling an easier to make version of the Tinsel Rat on my website, February 28th. And one thing I forgot to mention is that this guy will be one of the cheapest plushies available in my shop. Lastly, so far, we have Plat. Yep, that's right. I already decided to name this rat. His name is Plat. Get it? Because the yarn is called Plarn, so the rat is called Plat. Anyways, so yeah, this is Plat. I do love Plat. One of the rats of all time for sure. I don't think he compares to Tinsel Rat, because Tinsel Rat still has the #1 spot in my heart, and second place is still Mr. Shredded Cheese. So in my heart, Plat has third place. I'm sorry, Plat, but it's okay. So overall, I give the Plarn a 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, don't make amigurumi with this. Make literally anything else with this. Well, I guess not literally everything else. Imagine a blanket or a sweater out of this. That would be terrible. If you like this video, give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel. This is a series, so I will continue to make more videos exactly like this, and I already have 5 previous videos like this, so check out my previous Will It Rat videos if you're interested in more videos. Be sure to check out my website. I have crochet patterns available, such as the rat crochet pattern, and I have possum crochet patterns and different variants of the possum crochet patterns, as well as a raccoon, a skunk, and I also have free crochet patterns, so if you wanted to make this really freaking awesome flower possum, buy the regular possum crochet pattern and then visit the free crochet patterns tab on my website and you will find the add-on for this possum for free, as well as a snail possum and a shark possum add-on for free. Be sure to check that out. Please buy my crochet patterns. I might have a discount code listed in the pinned comment of this video. Be sure to check out the pinned comment in case there's a promo code that you don't want to miss. But anyways, I gotta go. I have to finish making this abomination. So, goodbye!